Hey guys, again another video. As you can see, the market is acting really good, and the good thing about it is that all the indexes are acting up bullish, and every single one of them actually is moving on the right direction. Not like we've seen before, where the QQQ was going up, and then you had in the XLF, for example, was going down. At this time, if you look at them from different time views, everything is going up. Starting with the composite, it's acting bullish. What I mean by that, it's above all the moving averages, above the 21, the 50, and the 200. We have the SMH. We have QQQ, which I do follow up the most, because it's growth stocks. XLF, another one that I want to mention, because when the QQQ was above some moving average, the XLF was actually going down, which so you had some divergence. The SPY as well, and then you have IWM. It's the lowest one, that it's not performing really well, but it's you can see some progress. It's happening in here. XLK sorry about that. It's actually making all-time high. And you can see it here. If we switch this chart to, you can see that the all-time high was 177.04. We closed already at 184 already. Closed at this short week. One thing I want to mention is, just if you're following gold actually is getting ready, and I did mention this like before, it's getting ready to break, and once it's break, it's gonna go pretty far away. You can see here, you can see this long base. I think it's been holding up for over how long this base has been acting up. I mean, yeah, the all-time high, which is back in 2011, and then so that was your base, and then you can see that now for last, I think, two and a half, yeah, almost 3 years. It's about 3.2 years, and we've been making this handle. So I would expect, not to predict anything, but if you want to estimate, usually if you want to estimate how bullish the gold's going to move, you actually you calculate, you go from the bottom, and then you see how deep is that base, about 87%, and then you can put that. So to show you that in perspective, it just gives you an estimation, like a target, but along the way here, you're gonna see some pullbacks along the way. So I just want to mention that QQQ is acting really bullish. And another thing that I always urge you guys to do is just looking whatever you're looking at, ETF, whatever it is, just looking at it from a different time view. You can easily see that we have a base, and you have a cup and a handle on a monthly time frame. The monthly time frame will concur the weekly time frame, and the weekly time frame will concur the daily time frame. So if one thing is, if the time frame saying something and then the weekly is saying something else, that's, you have some divergence in there, so that means that something's not adding up. But if you look at it on the monthly here, you have cup and a handle. And when I did mention this before, when we're up here, I said we have a base, now we just need a handle. So that took a couple of months to make that up. So looking at it from the monthly to the weekly, you can see the same thing is happening. We had kind of corrections in here where we closed in. And I did mention actually this, when the moment we're starting to close below the 21 on the weekly time frame, I said that we're going to see some lower prices, and that did happen. You can see it from here to here, and then we kind of reversed bullishly on this week here. And then moving to the daily, you can see that the market went up kind of like straight, which is really bullish, really good. And then mostly, like, and I noticed this on a previous bull market, every time like we have where we are in a bullish cycle, and then we started to go gap and go right here, like most of the time, which is 80% of the time, like the market will not come down and then fill those gaps. Usually just like consolidation here, and then we'll just resume the move higher. You can see it here back, I think, to 2021, when we had that really good move. You can see some of it in here, like you gap here, and then you just go up, and then you consolidate, go up and consolidate in here. See how the consolidation, you just keep going. And then notice this, like, and this is why I always like urge you guys to study and look at the previous chart. You can see that all these time frame and how the QQQ, for example, in this situation, it's been respected 21 moving average, and that'll give you like an idea on how things work. And everybody's watching actually this time frame. It could be the 20, it could be 21. Big guys, whales and hedge funds, they look at the 50 moving average. That's why sometimes you can see it in here, like a quick, mostly in stocks too. You know, the ETFs and stocks. My chart just froze on me. All right. What else I want to discuss? It's been a couple of moves that I post some charts on my Twitter page. Few of them, you know, that when I screen my stocks, I do look at relative strength, and I always look at the fundamentals as well. A couple of them that came out actually were actually, is it CNM or AG? Yeah, this one I was going to mention. Decent revenues and quarters reporting, and then you can see a lot of noise in here. And then if you switch it from time frame to a time frame, you can see that the picture is starting to look better and better, which is actually my favorite thing to do if I want to see where the energy is going. Is it bearish or is it bullish? And you can see that the monthly here, you have a kind of base here for a while, and then you had a handle here, and then we're finishing up. I'm making this video on the 25th, and you can see almost cup and a handle breaking out, which is a good thing. And then moving up to the daily, that's where you actually make your trade, and then that's where you plan you're supposed to, if you're a swing trader, to put where your stop loss is going on. The longer you want to see some volume going up like this this day in here. And then another one, another thing that you don't want to see it breaking out, the stock breaking out on good volume and then collapsing right away. Let me show you another, for example, like PLTR. I was watching, I did post this on my Twitter. You can see going on to the monthly time frame, you can see how, and I did post this as well. You can see how we had a support here, and we had a resistance here. So everybody's watching those prices. That's why the stock goes up to those prices and comes back. Moving it to the weekly time frame, we had a good decent volume bought in here, and then but unfortunately we kind of like, so I think we did close below that last week's low. I don't like seeing this engulfing. This is like a rejection of the of this breaking of this breakout. So we had a low of this candle on the time frame at a 1929, and then we kind of barely closed below it by 9 cents, but still you want to watch it. So but this is the good thing is actually you had a big buyer going out in here. So these are like big buyers are showing up their hands that they're interested in the stock. It doesn't matter that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I do look at the fundamentals, but you really want to see the price moving. You have a good fundamental on a company, on a given company, but if the stock is not moving, it's not going to make any money. So it's as simple as that. That's how I look at it. You have a breakout here. Let's say if I got into this stock in here at this price, and calculate my 5 to 8% stop loss, and I see this engulfing candle in here, for example, in here, me personally, I would immediately cut 50%, regardless. Let's say my stop loss was, for example, like in here. For example, I'm just giving you an example. And then immediately, let's say if I got into this on this day, and then stock did follow up, and I saw this engulfing candle, I would, even though my stop loss is still away from here, I would immediately cut, especially with a good volume, that red big bar. I will cut my position with by 50%, and then I will watch if the stock is gonna next thing I will do, I will watch if the stock is gonna violate and close below. For me personally, one of my rules is just like to get out of completely the position if the stock's starting to close on a daily below the 21 moving average. That's just me, one of my rules, and I try to keep my rules really fairly simple, not to overcomplicate, because I've been in those situations before in the past where I do micromanage the position, and if this happened in this situation. But market, it's not like that. It has like grayish areas. Sometimes it will be kind, sometimes it will wipe you around. So just have fairly simple rules, 5 to 8% risk, manage your position. If the stock prove you that it's going to move in up higher, you can actually add to the position. And me personally, I like to get into the position like fully at 100% at the same time. I'm not to like add the position along the way. I don't like to lose that price that I get in with in the same price the first time. So this is actually just an example I want to give you. Another stock that I saw moving based on my screen, which is again relative strength, BRZ. It's a technology sector. Looking at it on a weekly time frame, you can see that the stock, it was a fairly kind of like recent IPO back in 2021. And usually stocks do actually break they do break their base, and then they consolidate for a while. And this is like a typical stock at IPO. And then the big guys will decide. Then what I mean when I say big guys, it's just whales and big guys with big pockets like hedge funds and banks and institutions. If they like it, then I'll buy it. If they don't like it, I'm not gonna buy it, because they're the one who's making the stock move, not me, not you, just big guys. Okay. And then you look at the fundamentals. You can see here on the left upper corner, you can see the release earnings. They're good earnings. You want to see the revenue as well moving up by 30% and higher each quarter, and that's what makes those hedge funds actually getting interested in the stock. Okay, and then you can see that we closed the week here on a decent, I think it's not a good above average. You want to see a good spike on the volume. That's what you want to see. That doesn't mean the stocks were not going to move higher, but you want to see that along with the breakout. So yeah, and you see those gaps in here, and you see that the stock is not coming back and filling those gaps. That's another indication that the stocks is bullish, and you're starting to see along the way the stock starting to see making those higher highs. Okay, you can see that this high, actually this low here, is higher than this low, and this is how you read and pick up pieces of if the stock is acting right or not. Another thing is you want to see the stock not breaking out and closing below the moving average only when we're starting to pull back. Okay, so those are my tips for you guys. I hope you kind of find any value in it. If you do, or you did in the past, just hit that subscribe button. You can ask me the questions if you want, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.